Hey, Sheldon, you lose three guys to COVID protocol, but you get Marner and Engvall back. How does their returns help with what you plan to deploy against the Blues tomorrow night?
Well, certainly the timing is really good, given that we've lost guys and not a further goal that way. Marner and Engvall specifically, as we talked about, both guys are very valuable to us. They contribute in lots of ways. Obviously, Marner top of the lineup, and Engvall increases our depth greatly, and being on the road, especially, is a guy that we can trust and run the NCAA situation. So yeah, it's tough to see more guys leave the lineup. That's what we deal with these days. Have those guys back in practice today is a nice boost.
In the last game, toward the end, you mentioned that you might have had some concerns when it comes to conditioning, just given coming back from the layoff and guys coming back in the third period laps. And I'm curious, how do you remedy that? Is that like doing a hard skate at the end of practice to get the legs going? Is it a rest, or is it a combination of both?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I mean, the rest helps when you're in a road trip like this, and keep the back-to-back games and flip the time zones here throughout this trip, all those kind of things. The rest day is important. I think in terms of the comment about conditioning, that's just more of a reflection for me as I looked at 3 games that we played on this trip, which, in a lot of ways are the closest representation we've had to the NHL really is in quite some time. Our games at home, well, good tune-ups and help us get back to it. I think just the nature of the games, fans, and how spread out they were, all of that. I don't know if we took a whole lot from that, and that's come up here. I think it's showing we haven't played in these environments in quite some time, and it's going to take us a little while to get through. So we've got to be mindful of that. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it's just the nature of what we're going through. I think a lot of other teams are going through very similar things. The games are going to come. So with the day off yesterday, the practice day today, we didn't want to go long today, but we wanted to go hard, and rather than extending practice with a few more drills, we just decided to go hard scheme instead.
Next, go to Kevin McGran with the Toronto Star. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Sheldon. How much can you reasonably expect from Mitch and Pierre after their layoff tomorrow night?
You know what? I don't go into with any sort of expectation other than both guys appear to be ready and talking to it. They feel really good. They have been able to get some good skates in back home in Toronto before today, so that's helped their cause. And I think their status is related to protocols and such. They had to meet certain criteria for the NHL, which is different than where we're at in Ontario area to get a little bit more work done in terms of closing the gap. So that's I think helped them and helped their mindset. And we'll get them out there. Like we have other guys that come back from this situation and give them an opportunity to get up and running. I think focus more on that group as a whole. We have to, really good against we're strong and confident St. Louis.
And at the risk of asking a very obvious question, when Mitch is at his best, just how valuable is he to your lineup?
It's huge. Like we've said before, he contributes our play, penalty kill, any matchup offensively. He handles, laying in, just a key guy for us, and of course he plays the top of the lineup. Final Fox. So yeah, he's a vital piece of our team.
Next, to go to Nolan Bianchi with the Detroit News. Go ahead, Nolan.
Hi, Sheldon. Knowing what you know about how unforgiving and fragile the journey in this league can be, can you give people an idea of just how exactly difficult it is to accomplish what Jack Campbell has over these last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously extremely challenging. You don't have to look any further than the fact that not many goaltenders are able to play at that level for that period of time. So it's been tremendous to see it happening before your eyes every day in the facility, and you see his personality and the work that he's put in, the confidence that he's gained within himself, and also that his teammates have gained in him. It's been tremendous.
Did you get to see his reaction to finding out that he made the team?
I didn't, given it was an off day for us yesterday, but we spoke about it, and he's quite excited. As you know, he's a pretty humble guy, and quick to pass around credit, but it's terrific that he's going to get his moment, his recognition.
We'll go with two more here. Next to Terry Cochran with the Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, Sheldon, where would you like to see the team make improvements in front of Jack defensively, do you think? And where's there room for that?
I think there, some of our structure in each zone continue to tighten up and get better. I think there hasn't been necessarily one theme. It seems to bounce around a little bit, in Colorado and in Vegas. I thought that we exposed our net a couple of times and paid for it. We didn't have enough coverage around here. It's usually a strength of our game, but that was something that got away on the square. And against Arizona, it was Peter in that, but I felt we structurally was giving up too much space, time, and speed to the neutral zone because we just got away from the structural play, which I think was in part because of chasing the game and trying to score and do all those kind of things. But I think it's just a matter of the consistency piece. That's what we've talked about from day one. I think we have done a good job as a team. So Arizona was an issue for us against the rush, but Vegas and Colorado, two of the best rush teams in the NHL, and I thought we did an incredible job defending against that. So our team shows that they're capable of playing the game anyway, and defending, adjusting, adapting to what any opponent is bringing. We just got to be able to stay with it and be consistent.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Last one here. What a Mark Masters with TSN. Go ahead, Mark.
Sheldon, you mentioned the guys coming back. Mitch and Pierre looked like they're in a good spot. How would you describe how Mitch looked at practice? We know he has a lot of energy the best of times. Austin seemed to suggest he had a lot of pep. What did you see from him today?
Yeah, I would say he was just Mitch. Also, he actually looks a little bit refreshed. Even though we've had time off and all those kind of things, like this guy you can tell has just kind of been dropped into the road trip here. Everybody else, despite the fact that we're getting sun a little bit and enjoying these great cities and great climates, the road trip start to pile on you a little bit. I think we're going to change the time zones. I think for the third or fourth time on this trip, going out to St. Louis today. Mitch comes in with lots of energy. It's exciting to get playing, so I think that will help.
With Justin Hall on the COVID protocol, why do you like, I guess, Timothy with Jake? I believe that's what you had at practice today.
Yeah, it's just a natural fit with the right shots. This is the big one, but also when he's played there, it's a good job for us. And we forget that before we got into this mess before Christmas with COVID and everything like that, then he was playing comfortably in the top four then with Jake, and he was doing a really good job for us. So it's been a slow process to get him back up and running again and feeling good. And the timing of this works for Willard in the sense that he's had a game now and build on that and get back to playing where and how he was.